Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of a Bizarre Datapack Dev. And yesterday I took a break and making a video and editing because I've already said it in a comment on the last video that it's already a miracle that I could have gotten those 3 episodes off per day. So for today I'm here to show some combat footage me and my friend with using the world of my datapack, and we did it in a server, so there are bound to be some server-side issues that only exist on servers, and of course server lag and all sort of that thing. It's of course gonna be a problem that's gonna be prominent on servers multiplayer. It's gonna be based on the server's latency and your connection, so there's gonna be some delay on some stuff, and it really needs to show those issues. And yeah, here's a little clip of us doing around using the world as the stand. Alright, so after that footage, and I've placed some markers on some issues, like little subtitles to hint what the issues here are, and yeah, I'm here to fix them today and yeah, see what I can do to improve the experience of the PvPs, and yeah, let's get on to it. Alright, welcome back, and it's been quite a while since I've done the last recording session. I've done a lot of random stuff and also stuff for the data pack. Yeah, well, this is the main stuff that I'm going to have to show you. And that is that I fixed the issue with people being able to move while in the sky using the uppercut. And how I did is that I made it so the stun is now also using the entity, the area of a cloud. Now it also uses a slow fall, it's not on time stops, and slowly fall you down. But that's the main thing, is that it also uses an area of a cloud that is forcibly teleporting the entity or the player to location, meaning they can like move around while falling, because if you only have slowness, you can only not move in the ground, but if you're in the sky, you can freely move around even if you have slowness 255 or something. But with this new system, it should be fixed. So do the combos. Also, that's like another one of those weird bugs for some reason. Well, it's because it's based where the stand is comes off as being behind it. So like, if I'm too close, it's gonna detect that the stand is running in front of it, means that it's gonna go back. But it's still okay. Yeah, it still works normally if you hit it like right in front of you, but that's just a bug to keep in mind. If you hit it like too close, sometimes it will go backwards instead, but same thing. But yeah, that's all for that. And I've also added a new startup for your ultimate. Is this. You can now miss your ultimate. How unfortunate for people that waste their ultimate, but this is why you need to do the combos. Jab. There we go. Well, you need to do it much faster, but you get the point. Yeah, the golem's pretty much dead already. But ultimates hurt a lot. So it only makes sense that he can barely even land this thing. Start with, it's really hard to do that. So I think it's pretty fair. And a new greatest high, like small animation. It's not really an animation, it's just like a startup as well. But you're completely immune to anything during the startup. So you can't combo into awakening. So like there you go. There's like a delay before it starts. Now you get to do the stuff. You're also stuck in place when you do that, so you can't really move while in the casting point. So, well, I guess you can try and quick stop, but then I'm not pretty sure about that. Unless they somehow screwed it up. Nah, let's see it. Yeah, you can definitely move while doing that. That's something you should be fixing later on, so wait, that to be fixed. Anyways, another change is the block. See how you instantly get out of the slowness when you let go of it? Also, your resistance also instantly disappears once you let go of it. So you can't like block and then use an attack after that, and you'll be completely immune to any damage that you'll be taking because the effect lasts for a second even after you let it go. Like the effect is still there, but they made it so it disappears right after of it. And as soon as it's gone, it's gone. You'll be taking those knives. And yeah, that's all I've pretty much made for now. I've also adjusted the stun durations for the basic moves like the jab, hook, overhit, uppercut, jab, side smash, stun punch. Yeah, I've adjusted the stun to be longer on the basic moves because just realized that because I've added the end lag for each move. Like after they hit, there's a bit of end lag before you can do something else. Like especially in the uppercut, yeah, you can see it. Means is when the damage comes, also the stun at the same time. So that means how much the end lag is how much stun you're losing out of. So I just made it so I added up the end lag and into the stuns. So basically, like if I were to stun this guy for like 10 ticks, I needed to add 15 stun scoreboard because there's a end lag on the jab in which it hits at the 5th tick, but there's an end lag till the 10th tick before you can recover and do something else. That means you're losing out 5 ticks of stun, so I just added the 5 to the stun duration on the attack, so it's a bit more fair. Can actually do that. Anyways, so that was like an issue that I found while we were fighting, that you can get out of the combo because of the end lag. Like my friend used a quick stop to get out of it. So yeah. Alright, let's see, let's dive deep into how I did my knockback system as well. So, let's start from the fling. Here we got fling first. That is we detect the player if it is fling, unless it is below 1. And unless you are tagged with a KB in it, you run the function in it, initialization. Then, that's what's it gonna do, it's gonna summon an area effect cloud with a KB origin tag and no item. Also, the duration is only set to 100. That is so it automatically disappears if ever the entity dies and it wasn't finished doing its animation, or I mean it wasn't finished doing its knockback. It's just going to die on itself. So yeah, don't have to worry about that being stuck there. Then do an execute on the area effect cloud, grab here. And what we do is set your ID to the same as the person getting launched. That means they have the same ID, they are now connected to each other, they know that they are supposed to be with each other. Now with the score, detecting it, we have to make it teleport to the player or the entity. So as the cloud, if your score is the same as the nearest entity, which is of course the entity that you are launching, you're knockbacking because their location is still safe. I didn't add this. That will be the area effect cloud location. That means it's still the person's location, the mob. So it's always gonna be the nearest because it's from that location in which he would always be the nearest. The mob would always be the nearest. So if it has the same ID, rotate it as the location, the X, but negate the Y. So whatever rotation the mob is, like say it's rotated this way, it's gonna face this way. It's gonna fade this way, it's gonna fade this way. But if it's facing up like this, it's gonna negate that and just put it on neutral, like on 0. It doesn't care what your y-axis, how you rotated there, it just puts you in neutral. That's why it's on 0. Then we run a TP to just to the location of the entity, then face them the direction that they're looking at, and tilt them a bit downward. And now we move the no ID, then tag it as add KB unit, which is now, because this command, this entire file will be running Vertex, and now that it has init, it doesn't have to do this again, because it only happens if you don't have it. Now, for the action to work, is we detect the area effect cloud again. If it has the same score as the person, then go to its location, the area of effect cloud's location at arose, then run function fling action. For the fling action, it's just a bunch of teleport and detecting the block if it is suitable for a teleport. And why is it this way rather than just one teleport? Well, I wanted to accelerate my teleport to be like very aggressive, because that's how Kakyoin got downloaded. It was very aggressive, so I wanted to make it really fast but not clip through walls, as sometimes it would happen. But I tried to fix that as much as possible, and basically you do if block on P5 is air, if this block is also air, if this block is also air, and if this block is also air, then run myself 4 blocks backwards. This is the area effect cloud, by the way, that is getting teleported. Then do that again. If block is this, if this is also air, if this is also air, and if this is not air, unless it is air, then you run it -3. So we only go up to this. Then that happens to the other one, and then the other one. That's just to prevent the whole clipping situation. Then this is the main command that works for us. As all entities that are living, if their scores have the fling, ICS_fling, and if scores is equal to the area effect cloud, this area effect cloud, because we've already established that we're using the area effect cloud's location, so if we do a sort nearest, it will always be the area effect cloud. Then if it has the same ID, run dp@s. The @s is this entity that we're trying to find, which is the one we're launching away, but 1 block above area effect cloud. That's just so they don't clip on the floor, and facing them the direction the area effect cloud is facing. So that's why mob face whichever direction you donut them towards during a time stop, because I have to face them, but I thought it was good. And then that's pretty much the same with the other ones, except that you just get teleported on a different way. This one goes down instead, -0.5, -1, -1.5, -2. Then hit up, also the same, but going upwards instead. The rotation here does not matter, because you're not getting flung in any of the x-axis or z-axis coordinates. You're only really using y coordinates with hit down or hit up. So I just use the normal squiggly lines and don't care about the rotation. And another thing is my stun. See how it's pretty much identical to the others, except that this one is just slow fall, which is just one command to teleport you slowly down, somewhat gravity, because you'd be ended up with the slow falling anyways. So why do I need all these fancy commands just to stun people? Well, that's how I fix the whole issue with people moving around while in the air. So since they're gonna be stunned for quite a while, but they can still move, because slowness doesn't work unless you're on the ground. You can still move in the air. If you're in mid-air and you have slowness 255 or whatever, you can still move like freely. So that's an issue. So I made it so it always teleports to the area effect cloud. And as you can see, they all use the same KB init, and they all use the same KB origin. That is to have no conflict on each other. So if I both have a hit up and then a fling at the same time, they would both use the same area effect cloud and then just do their designated directions at the same time. So if I do a hit up and also a fling, they would go upwards and also away from me. So that's how I made it not conflict with each other, because summoning another area effect cloud will absolutely conflict with each other. So same thing, stun, they're facing the direction, they can't move their cursor around. I think so. I just realized that this is not correct here. Little mistake there. For some reason that didn't cause any issues while I'm testing, but that's clearly a mistake, because all the others should have hit up, down, and flick. Yeah, that's the only one that pattern. And I also detect each time you're trying to cast an ability, it's always detecting if you have a score on ice just stun. That way you can't cast any abilities at all if you have a stun value. And there's also block break. I've also implemented block break, but I've implemented it after we did the battle, so it wasn't there. But it just clears any resistance you had, and of course your passive is gonna overwrite and set you back to resistance 2, so that's fine. So if you have like resistance 5 from the blocking, it's instantly gone from this and gives you a 2-second stun. So don't get block broken, people. And this is just to clear the effect after it gets stunned instantly, because this gives it in 1-second intervals, but if it matches 1, then you just clear it immediately. Then the particle just to indicate that they are stunned. You need some sort of indication, or else you just don't know. And for my bleeding, just there's a delay, and every seconds HP damage, E damage. The reason why I go straight to the damage instead of doing ice shield damage and then get calculated damage, because bleed only deals 1 damage, and for it to be resisted as well is kinda sucks. So I just made it ignore complete resistances, and this would also mean that if you're blocking, it doesn't negate the bleed damage as well. That would be stupid. So bleed damage doesn't care how resistant you are, you will always be bleeding. And that's why the cutthroat knife and the donut is still a viable option as an offensive against high resistances, because the bleed damage that they provide literally ignores resistance. They will always take 1 damage per second. And for the blocking, same thing. It also makes it so if ever someone does a hit up move like the uppercut while you're blocking, it shouldn't work. Well, the uppercut block breaks you anyway, so what's the point? But if there's any other hit up moves that doesn't block break in the future, then yeah, you're not gonna get hit up. Same with the hit down. You shouldn't be stunned unless you're block broken, and you shouldn't be flinged. But yeah, you can block the donut. Made that blockable, because I mean there's a huge startup unless they combo into it, which you can't block because you're stunned. Yeah, this is how I also do it. If it's 1, then effectively resistance slowness. So that's how the block disappears. The block effect disappears instantly pretty much as you let go. That's a thing. And yeah, that's all I have to explain for today, and that's all I have for today as well. So yeah, see you in the next episode of Bizarre Datapack Dev.